And it's so great to see those homes that were built in the aftermath because it was so devastating. To see what those folks went through.
Yeah, Kentucky has really been hit hard these last few years. Of course, Western Kentucky with the tornadoes, Eastern Kentucky with the flooding. We've had an active year this year. Now we've kind of been flipping the switch to more of that heat and drought. So we had such an active start to the year, but now we're dealing with dry conditions, hot conditions. That includes for anybody heading out to the music festival, of course, as we carry on throughout the weekend. We are expecting those temperatures to top out in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Very slim rain chance on Saturday. I think we should stay dry. Sunday, better chance of seeing some isolated showers or storms across the area. Of course, that should help things cool down just a bit. But the big weather story, as we mentioned, has been drought here lately. So we had a very active first half of the year, and then we basically turned the faucet off as we went into August and for much of September so far. So last week's drought monitor, we had a lot of yellow here, abnormally dry conditions, some moderate drought in that tan color along and south of the parkways into western Kentucky. This week's update, which was updated this morning, has a lot more of that tan color, that moderate drought. And if you carry on into western Kentucky, outside of our viewing area, but of course still in the state, dealing with severe drought. So that's a step above that, as we have had abnormally dry conditions, and then the heat just kind of speeds up that drying process for your soil moisture as well. Now, in terms of rain chances, we do have them in the 7-day forecast. Not tonight. Tomorrow, it does look like we'll have some radar activity to our west, but it wants to fizzle right before it heads into Kentuckiana. So I'll be watching that closely for tomorrow evening. Saturday, I do think we might see a couple of pop-ups, but by Sunday, slightly better chance of some isolated showers and storms. And then take a look at next week as this map does fill in across the area. Now, the exact totals aren't actually that impressive. I know it looks like some bright colors, but many of us may be ending up with about an inch or so. But at this rate, we'll take anything that we can get. High temperatures remain pretty hot Friday and Saturday in the lower 90s, close to 10 degrees above normal in some spots. And then I will say next week's temperatures, these are subject to change because I was being a little conservative with just how cool we could get. It's dependent on how much rain we see, when and where that rain falls. But I do think we could have lower 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. Some spots in Kentucky and, of course, falling into the 70s. Now, off to our west, there's a lot of radar activity moving towards St. Louis. This will not be moving into our area. We will get some of that cloud cover as we carry on throughout the day tomorrow, but we're going to start off very similar to how we've been all week. Mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We have light winds in place, low humidity as well. Cloud cover increases throughout the day, but any kind of radar activity wants to stay off to our west and fizzles before it moves into Kentuckiana. That is some good news. Now, as we head into Saturday, slight chance of seeing a pop-up. Once again, we have a lot of dry air to overcome, so I think this model is actually showing too much radar activity. If you're heading to the U of L game, you more so have to worry about the heat because by the end of the game, we're expecting temperatures close to 90 degrees. Your kickoff temperature 83 on Saturday. Looking forward to next week, much more unsettled weather pattern. You'll have to keep that umbrella handy. Temperatures in the 80s for the start of fall. Connie?
Thank you, Mallory.